Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast. Today is Monday, March 26, 2018. Today I'm going to recap the Elite Eight games from yesterday and look ahead to the two Final Four matchups. Go over the Women's Elite Eight games from yesterday and pick tonight's Women's Elite Eight games. Go over last night's NBA action as well as tonight's NBA action. Go over some drama in the Big Apple in terms of football and two contract extensions given out in Major League Baseball. Two Elite Eight games played yesterday. In the East region, one-seeded Villanova defeated three-seeded Texas Tech 71-59 to advance to their second Final Four in 3 years. Great for Jay Wright and the Wildcats. Jalen Brunson put up 15 in the win, and Keenan Evans put up 12 in defeat. Texas Tech has to be proud of the year they've had. Chris Beard is now among the top 30 coaches in college basketball, and Texas Tech is a program on the rise in the Big 12. And speaking of the Big 12, the one-seeded Kansas Jayhawks defeated two-seeded Duke Blue Devils 85-81 in overtime, Midwest Regional Final. Great win for Bill Self's program. Disappointing loss for Mike Krzyzewski's program. Malik Newman was the star of this game. He put up 32 in the win. Trevon Duval put up 20 in defeat as the Jayhawks advanced to the Final Four. This is one of Bill Self's better coaching jobs, in my opinion. Duke was favored to win this game, and plain and simple, he outcoached Coach K in this game, which is pretty impressive. Look ahead to the two matchups on Saturday. You have 11-seeded Loyola Chicago from the South region against 3-seeded Michigan from the West region in the first game. And then in the nightcap, you have 1-seeded Kansas from the Midwest region and 1-seeded Villanova from the East region in the nightcap game. I'll pick those games on Saturday's podcast. Now I'm going to go over the women's games real quick from yesterday. 1-seeded Louisville defeated 6-seeded Oregon State in the Lexington Regional Final by a score of 76-43 as the Cardinals advanced to the Final Four. Asia Durr put up 18 in the win, and Marie Gulich put up 14 in defeat as the Cardinals advanced to the Final Four. This has been a great season for them. In the Kansas City Regional, 1-seeded Mississippi State defeated 3-seeded UCLA by a score of 89-73. Great win for Mississippi State. Victoria Vivians put up 24 in the win. Jordan Canada put up 23 in defeat as Mississippi State advances to the Final Four. And I got both games picked correct. And with yesterday, I went 1-1. I had Nova, got that right, and I had Duke. I was wrong there. Women's games tonight, you have 2-seeded South Carolina against 1-seeded UConn in the Albany Regional Final. This is going to be some game. I think the Gamecocks are very good. They're capable of knocking off UConn, but I don't think they're going to get it done. UConn has somewhat of a home court advantage here. So give me the Huskies in a closer game than expected to go to the Final Four. In the Spokane Regional Final, you have 2-seeded Oregon against 1-seeded Notre Dame. This is going to be another closer game than expected. Give me the Irish to advance to the Final Four. I just think they're the better team. Although I won't be that surprised if the Ducks found the way to win this game because the Ducks are a pretty good team in their own right. NBA from yesterday, a couple interesting results. You had the Cleveland Cavaliers winning their 5th straight game by a score of 121-114 over the Brooklyn Nets. The Cavs are now 44-29. The Nets dropped to 23-51. LeBron James put up 37 points and 8 assists in the win. Joe Harris put up 30 points and 7 rebounds in defeat. Like I mentioned, that's 5 in a row for the Cavs. And LeBron James is right with James Harden, in my opinion, in that MVP race. A bunch of people are claiming that it's over. I don't think it is. LeBron, I think, has a chance to steal this MVP award from Harden. The Bucks defeated the Spurs by a score of 106-103. Big win for the Bucks to snap the Spurs winning streak. The Bucks improved the 39-34 the Spurs dropped to 43-31. Giannis Antetokounmpo is back. He put up 25 points, 10 rebounds in the win. LaMarcus Aldridge put up 34 points in defeat. A terrible loss for the Washington Wizards as they lose to the New York Knicks 101-97. The Knicks are now 27-47, and the Wizards improve or drop to 40-33. Trey Burke put up 19 in the win. Bradley Beal put up 14 in defeat. This was just a terrible, terrible loss for the Wizards. You just can't lose at home to tanking teams. It could cost you a seed, or cost you a game that could cost you a seed, a matchup in the playoffs. And on the Knicks side, it hurts their chances of getting into the top 3 in the lottery, and it drops them in the draft slot, although you never know. Tanking teams play against each other all the time, and maybe they drop if there's a couple injuries along the way, drop in the towards the tanking direction where you want to go if you're a tanking team like the Knicks. The Indiana Pacers clinched a playoff spot with the 113-107 overtime win over the Miami Heat. This is pretty impressive. Indiana's now 43-31. Miami drops to 39-35. Victor Oladipo, who's going to win the NBA's Most Improved Player award, put up 23 points in the win. Tyler Johnson put up 19 in defeat. Indiana clinches a playoff spot, as well as the Philadelphia 76ers. Big win for the Clippers, 117-106 in Toronto over the Raptors as they improved to 39-34. Toronto drops to 54-20. Lou Williams put up 26 against his former team in the win, and Jonas Valanciunas put up 16 in defeat. That's a really impressive win for the Los Angeles Clippers and Doc Rivers. The Celtics defeated the Kings 104-93. Good win for the Celtics, trying to take care of tanking teams. They improved to 50-23. The Kings dropped to 24-50. The Celtics are now 3 back in the loss column of the 1 seed in the East. Terry Rozier led the way for the Celtics with 33 in the win. Buddy Hield put up 21 in defeat for Sacramento. The Trailblazers defeated the Thunder 108-105 in Oklahoma City. They improved to 45-28. Oklahoma City drops to 44-31. CJ McCollum put up 34 in the win. Russell Westbrook put up 23 in defeat. There was a little bit of a brawl in this game. A couple punches shoved and a couple slaps around. Westbrook and Melo were involved. McCollum, Ed Davis, Alfred Aminu. It was sort of messy. We'll see if anything comes out of this from the league. The Rockets beat the Hawks 118-99. They improved to 16-14. Atlanta drops to 21-53. Houston's on their way to the 1 seed. Gerald Green put up 25 in the win. Taurean Prince put up 28 in defeat. A bright spot for the Hawks is Prince, who's been scoring a lot these past couple days. And maybe he's a piece they keep around long term. Harden had a triple-double with 18 points, 15 assists, and 10 rebounds. And he got that done in 3 quarters, which is impressive. Harden versus LeBron is going to be a fun argument down the stretch of the season. The Jazz defeated the shorthanded Warriors 110-91. The Jazz are now 42-32. Golden State's now 54-19. Donovan Mitchell put up 21 in the win. Quinn Cook put up 17 in defeat. And bad news for the Warriors. Stephen Curry. Steve Kerr said that there's no way he's back for the first round of the NBA playoffs. I'll go over the standings in a couple minutes on the podcast to see if the season were to end today, who they play in round 1, and whether that team has either A, a chance to take the Warriors to 6 or 7 games, or B, even to pull out an outright upset over the Warriors. So we'll assess that in a minute. Draymond Green didn't play last night due to the flu, but he should be back. Durant's still hurt. Klay Thompson's still hurt. So rough times a little bit for the Golden State Warriors. Tonight's slate, you have the Knicks at the Hornets. And I mentioned the Knicks and how that was not so good of a win in terms of their tanking. Charlotte, meanwhile, is playing better. Kemba Walker's playing really well. Dwight Howard had a 30-30 game recently, so Charlotte should be able to beat the Knicks. Lakers at the Pistons. The Lakers are eliminated from playoff contention with the loss here tonight. And the Pistons are just playing out the stretch as well as the Lakers, pretty much. Nuggets at the Sixers on NBA TV tonight. That should be a fun game. Two teams battling from playoff positioning. The Sixers clinched yesterday with Indiana's win, because that was a Miami loss. So the only seed left to be clinched in the NBA playoffs from the Eastern Conference side of the bracket is the 8 seed. And that in all likelihood is going to be the Miami Heat, barring some crazy injury or hot play from the Hornets or the Pistons. Grizzlies at the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves should be able to take care of a tanking team, especially the team that, in my opinion, has tanked the hardest in the Grizzlies. And also on NBA TV tonight, the Celtics at the Suns. Another team that's tanked hard has been the Suns. The Celtics have won a couple games in a row, sans the injury to Kyrie Irving. And they should be able to make it 4 straight tonight. I said I'd look at the standings. Here we go. The Toronto Raptors still hold the East's number 1 spot at 54-20. Boston second, 50-23. Cleveland 3, 44-29. 4 Philadelphia, 42-30. 5 Indiana, 43-31. Philadelphia, Indiana essentially tied, but Philadelphia ahead in the loss column. 6 through 8 isn't clinched yet in the East. I thought the 8th spot was the only spot left, but Washington and Milwaukee have not clinched yet. Washington 6th at 44-33. Milwaukee 7 at 39-34. So Milwaukee's only 1 back of Washington. That was that. We're talking about how that result impacted the Knicks' pursuit of a top pick. I think it hurts Washington's chance at the 5 seed more than it hurts the Knicks' chances of moving up in the lottery pecking order, because the Knicks still have losable games down the stretch, and Washington needs to take care of tanking teams. As I mentioned, Milwaukee 39-34, 8's Miami at 39-35. They're a half game back of Milwaukee, and they're a game and a half back of Washington. So don't rule out the possibility that Miami Heat end up as the 6th seed, despite them having a couple of disappointing losses. Detroit and Charlotte haven't been officially eliminated yet. Detroit's 33-40, Charlotte's 33-41. New York, as I mentioned, 27-47. Chicago is 24-49. Brooklyn is 23-51. Orlando's 22-51. Atlanta is 21-53. The West. Houston is 16-14 and has a 5.5 game lead on the Golden State Warriors. The 1 seeds is Houston's to lose. Golden State is 54-19, as I mentioned. Portland's 3rd at 45-28. Oklahoma City still has that 4th seed at 44-31. So that win by Portland killed any chance of Oklahoma City ending up with the 3 seed. New Orleans and San Antonio are both 43-31, but New Orleans has the tiebreaker over the Spurs. So New Orleans is 5, San Antonio is 6. 7 and 8's a tie between Minnesota and Utah, each at 42-32. And Minnesota has the tiebreaker over Utah. Denver's 9 at 40-33, and they are a game and a half back of Utah, 1 in the loss column. The Clippers are 39-34 and 10th in the West. They are 2 back in the loss column of Utah. The Lakers are 32-40. Sacramento's 24-50. Dallas is 22-51. Memphis is 19-54. Phoenix is 19-55. That's your NBA standings right now. Right now, the Big Apple is dealing with some turmoil in football. On both teams, mainly the Giants. Owner John Mara had a chat yesterday to the media and made some comment about nobody's untradeable. And he's referring, obviously, to Odell Beckham Jr. And now the media is going crazy that and making a narrative that the Giants are shopping Odell Beckham Jr. Meanwhile, the owner actually said that they're not shopping Odell Beckham Jr., but they're willing to listen on him. And don't forget, they traded away another popular player last week in Jason Pierre-Paul. Pierre-Paul had an albatross contract, so a lot of people were not, I guess, sort of happy is the right word, the clear cap room. And now then there was speculation that they were going to extend Odell with that trade. And meanwhile, that trade also says that nobody's untradeable. And that, as I mentioned, can be for Odell. And I'm fascinated to see how this plays out. And then there's a report out today by Ian Rappaport, who's one of the best in the business, saying that Odell's going to have a holdout if he doesn't get paid. So this is a fascinating story to follow, and I'll continue to talk about it on my podcast if more stuff continues to break. The other story involving New York football is the Jets. They took their offer away from the Ndamukong Suh. I don't think this was a bad move necessarily. Suh's still a great and talented player, but Suh does have like a not so great reputation. Maybe he wouldn't be a fit in New York with the Jets. And this opens up different possibilities for Suh. And apparently the Jets had the most money on the table for Suh. And it's weird that the Jets took the offer away from Suh instead of Suh turning it down. But if I'm Suh, there's more enticing opportunities. Like you can go to Los Angeles and play with Aaron Donald. You could go to Tennessee. You can go to New Orleans to play with Cameron Jordan. There's like a lot of enticing opportunities if I'm Suh, but the Rams is the one that's the most enticing. They're going to be a Super Bowl contender this upcoming season after having the breakthrough year last year. You compare it with Aaron Donald, you're going to be on the same team as Todd Gurley and Jared Goff, and Goff's only going to get better. So the Rams, to me, are the most enticing place for Suh, and also you're going to be playing in a Wade Phillips defense, and Wade Phillips is one of the best in the game in terms of defensive coordinators. 2 baseball players signed contract extensions within the last 24 hours. Scott Kingsbury, second base prospect of the Phillies. The Phillies locked him up in a 6-year contract extension, which I think is good for Philadelphia, locking up their young talent. But the interesting thing about Kingsbury is that he's yet to make his major league debut, and he made the team out of spring training, and it's probably going to be their opening day second baseman. And I think it's great for Philadelphia. Kingsbury's one of the game's top prospects. I had him ranked on my list when I did my top prospects list the other day. And I'm intrigued to see what he can be able to do. I think he could be this year's version of Rhys Hoskins. And the other notable player that got signed to a contract extension was Ketel Marte of the Diamondbacks, their shortstop. He showed so much promise last year, and he has a ton of speed on the bases. And he's only going to get better. Now I'm going to do my 2017 MLB redraft. I was supposed to do this yesterday, but I didn't have time to do it, so I'm going to do it today. I'm going to redraft just the first 27 picks, so which would be the official first round of the 2017 MLB draft. How many picks will be the same? How many picks will be different? We'll go through it right now. 1, Minnesota Twins. Brendan McKay, pitcher, first baseman from Louisville. McKay has a ton of upside on the mound and not the dish. McKay is ranked as my 23rd best prospect, the 39th best prospect by Baseball America, the 21st ranked prospect by Fangraphs, and the 25th ranked prospect by MLB.com. McKay will be starting the season in short A, but it won't be surprising if he's in Double A by the end of the season. The actual pick was Royce Lewis, the shortstop outfielder from J. Sarah Catholic High School in California. 2, Cincinnati Reds. Hunter Green, pitcher, and he was also an outfielder and a shortstop, Notre Dame High School in California. Green is slated to be a pitcher long-term, and he has ace upside. Green is my 19th ranked prospect, the 29th ranked prospect by Baseball America, the 42nd ranked prospect by Fangraphs, and the 21st ranked prospect by MLB.com. Green is likely to start the season in Class A, and don't be surprised if he's in Double A by the end of the year. The actual pick was Green. 3, San Diego Padres. Mackenzie Gore, pitcher, Whitefield High School, North Carolina. Gore is one of the better pitching prospects in baseball, and he's in all likelihood going to be an ace. Gore is my 18th ranked prospect, the 26th ranked prospect by Baseball America, the 33rd ranked prospect by Fangraphs, and the 19th ranked prospect by MLB.com. Gore should start the season in Class A and maybe even Advanced A, and it won't be that shocking if he's the first player from this draft to reach the bigs. The actual pick, Gore. 4. Tampa Bay Rays. Royce Lewis, shortstop outfielder, J. Serra Catholic High School in California. Lewis is one of the prospects on the rise. Lewis is my 50th ranked prospect, the 24th ranked prospect by Baseball America, the 38th ranked prospect by Fangraphs, and the 20th ranked prospect by MLB.com. Lewis will start the season in Class A and probably will be in Double A by the end of the season. The actual pick, Brendan McKay, pitcher, first baseman, Louisville. 5. Atlanta Braves. Kyle Wright, pitcher, Vanderbilt. Wright is a fast-rising prospect in the Brave system. Wright is my 32nd ranked prospect, the 34th ranked prospect by Baseball America, the 26th ranked prospect by Fangraphs, and the 30th ranked prospect by MLB.com. Wright is slated to start the season in Double A and will likely see the bigs at some point. The actual pick, Wright. 6. Oakland Athletics. Keston Hiura, second baseman outfielder from UC Irvine. Hiura is a fast-rising prospect in the Brewer system, and he can flat-out hit. Hiura is my 36th ranked prospect, the 47th ranked prospect by Baseball America, the 24th ranked prospect by Fangraphs, and the 56th ranked prospect by MLB.com. Hiura is slated to start the season in Class A and probably will finish the season in Double A. The actual pick, Austin Beck, outfielder, North Davidson High School from North Carolina. 7. Arizona Diamondbacks. Alex Fado, pitcher, Florida. Fado is a fast-rising prospect in the Tiger system. Fado is my 63rd ranked prospect, the 50th ranked prospect by Baseball America, and the 59th ranked prospect by MLB.com. Fado is supposed to start the season in Advanced A, and it won't be shocking if he ends up in the bigs for September call-ups. The actual pick, Pavin Smith, first baseman, Virginia. 8. Philadelphia Phillies. Joe Adell, outfielder, Ballard High School from Kentucky. Adell is a prospect trending upwards and has a ton of upside, although he probably won't see the bigs for another year or two. Adell is my 51st ranked prospect, the 46th ranked prospect by Baseball America, the 66th ranked prospect by Fangraphs, and the 62nd ranked prospect by MLB.com. Adell is slated to start the season in rookie ball, but should be in Class A or even Advanced A when the season ends. The actual pick, Adam Hazley, outfielder, Virginia. 9. Milwaukee Brewers. Heliot Ramos, outfielder, Leadership Christian Academy, PR. Puerto Rico. Ramos is a prospect that can flat out hit, just like the guy the Brewers took in this spot in the actual draft in Hiura, who is off the board in the redraft. Ramos is my 65th ranked prospect, the 46th ranked prospect by Baseball America, and the 63rd ranked prospect by MLB.com. Ramos should start the season in Short A, and it won't be surprising to see him in Advanced A at the end of the season. The actual pick, as I mentioned, Keston Hiura, second baseman outfielder, UC Irvine. 10. Los Angeles Angels. Shane Baz, pitcher, Concordia Lutheran High School in Texas. With Adell off the board, the Angels go with Baz here to bank on his potential and upside. Baz is my 78th ranked prospect and the 67th ranked prospect by MLB.com. Baz is slated to start the season in rookie ball, but probably will finish the season in Class A. The actual pick, as I mentioned, Joe Adell, outfielder, Ballard High School in Kentucky. 11. Chicago White Sox. J.P. Bukauskas, pitcher, North Carolina. Bukauskas is a fast-rising pitcher in the Astro system with ace potential and is a strikeout machine. Bukauskas is my 77th ranked prospect, the 76th ranked prospect by Baseball America, and the 76th ranked prospect by MLB.com. Bukauskas will probably start the season in Short A, and he'll likely finish the season as high as Double A. The actual pick, Jake Berger, first baseman, third baseman from Missouri State. 12. Pittsburgh Pirates. Adam Hazley, outfielder, Virginia. Hazley is one of the safer bets to pan out in this draft class in terms of position players. Hazley is my 97th ranked prospect and the 95th ranked prospect by MLB.com. Hazley will start the season in Short A, and there's a chance he finishes the season in Advanced A. The actual pick, Shane Baz, pitcher, Concordia Lutheran High School in Texas. 13. Miami Marlins. Pavin Smith, first baseman, Virginia. Pavin is a very promising prospect that can flat out rake. Smith is my 93rd ranked prospect and the 91st ranked prospect by MLB.com. Smith is projected to be in the big leagues by 2020 and should start the season in Class A. The actual pick, Trevor Rogers, pitcher, Carlsbad High School in Texas. 14. Kansas City Royals. Nate Pearson, pitcher, UCF. Pearson is an under-the-radar prospect that isn't getting much attention. Pearson is ranked 76th in Fangraphs prospect rankings. He is slated to start the season in short A, and it won't be surprising to see him as high as Double A come September. The actual pick, Nick Prado, first baseman, Huntington Beach High School in California. 15, Houston Astros. David Peterson, pitcher, Oregon. With Bukauskas off the board, the Astros go with another stud pitcher in Peterson. I would bet that Peterson will be a top 100 prospect by the end of this season. Peterson is slated to start the season at short A, and it won't be surprising if he's in advanced A or even Double A to finish the season. The actual pick, J.P. Bukauskas, pitcher, North Carolina. 16, New York Yankees. Logan Warmoth, shortstop, North Carolina. Warmoth is very under the radar and is a safer bet to pan out due to his glove at short and his upside at the plate. Warmoth is slated to start the season at short A, and there's a chance he finishes the season at advanced A. The actual pick, Clark Smith, pitcher, South Carolina. 17. Seattle Mariners, Evan White, first baseman, outfielder from Kentucky. White played very well in his minor league debut last summer and into the fall. White should start the season in Class A, and he's likely, if he hits like he's capable of, maybe he finds himself in Double A. The actual pick, White. Detroit Tigers, Jaren Kendall, outfielder, Vanderbilt. Kendall hit okay in his minor league debut after being drafted. Kendall has a ton of upside and still will start the season in Class A and could finish the year in Double A if he improves enough. The actual pick, Alex Fado, pitcher, Florida. 19, San Francisco Giants, Bubba Thompson, outfielder, McGill-Tulane Catholic High School in California. With Ramos off the board, the Giants take Thompson, who is a prospect that's going to take time to fully develop but has a ton of upside. Thomas is slated to start the season in rookie ball, and there's a chance he finishes the season at short A, if not Class A. The actual pick, as I mentioned, Heliot Ramos, outfielder, Leadership Christian Academy from Puerto Rico. 20, New York Mets, Nick Prado, first baseman, Huntington Beach High School in California. With Peterson off the board, the Mets take a position player with upside in Prado, who may take some time to develop. Prado will likely start the season in rookie ball, and there's a chance he finishes the year in Class A if he plays better than he did last year. The actual pick, David Peterson, pitcher, Oregon. 21, Baltimore Orioles, Tanner Houck, pitcher, Missouri. Houck didn't have a good first impression in the minor leagues, but I would not give up on him yet. Houck has started to slate the season in short A, and if he performs well, we may see him in advanced A by the time September rolls around. The actual pick, D.L. Hall, pitcher, Valdosta High School in Georgia. 22, Toronto Blue Jays, Seth Romero, pitcher, Houston. With Warmoth off the board, the Jays go with Romero, who's gotten himself into trouble not just in the past but in spring training this year, but we're banking on potential here. Romero is slated to start the season in rookie ball, and assuming he stays out of trouble and pitches well, he could be as high as advanced A come the fall. The actual pick, as I mentioned, Logan Warmoth, shortstop, North Carolina. 23, Los Angeles Dodgers, Clark Schmidt, pitcher, South Carolina. Schmidt is coming off of Tommy John surgery, and the Dodgers, in theory here, would be banking on him to return to form. Schmidt will likely start the season in rookie ball, and if he performs well, he can finish the season in Class A. The actual pick, Jaren Kendall, outfielder, Vanderbilt. 24, Boston Red Sox, Trevor Rogers, pitcher, Carlsbad High School in Texas. With Houck off the board, the Red Sox take Rogers, who did not pitch well in his minor league debut. Rogers will start the season in rookie ball and can finish the season in Class A if things go well. The actual pick, Tanner Houck, pitcher, Missouri. 25, Washington Nationals, D.L. Hall, pitcher, Valdosta High School in Georgia. With Romero off the board, the Nats go with another pitcher in Hall, who didn't pitch well in his minor league debut, but still has a ton of upside and potential. Hall is likely to start the season in rookie ball and could find himself in Class A in September if things go better. The actual pick, as I mentioned, Seth Romero, pitcher, Houston. 26, Texas Rangers, Austin Beck, outfielder, North Davidson High School in North Carolina. With Thompson off the board, the Rangers take Beck in the redraft, who didn't play up to top 10 pick status in his minor league debut. Beck has started to start the season in rookie ball, and if he plays well enough, don't be surprised if he finishes the season in Class A. The actual pick, as I mentioned, Bubba Thompson, outfielder, McGill-Tulane Catholic High School in California. Last but not least, 27, Chicago Cubs, Brendan Little, pitcher, State College of Florida, Manatee. Little did not have a good run in his minor league debut, sans a small sample size. Little is likely to start the season in rookie ball and could finish the season in Class A if things go well. The actual pick, Little. That's it for right now. I'll be back later tonight with my 2018 MLB season predictions podcast, all inclusive, all baseball predictions, standings, wild card teams, World Series winners, award picks, and much more. I hope you guys have a great day.